Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. Now, I already posted this video for my members, and then I realized I forgot the red and blue albums. I wanted to include them, and past masters, and yeah, the Beatles 1, which is like their greatest hits. So I wanted to include those. And I think I've got, there's probably other albums, but I've got all of their studio albums. I've got Yellow Submarine. I've got the Let It Be Naked, the Beatles Love album, the three anthology series. So I'm happy this time. And so here we go. In no particular order, I'm going to rank them. As you can see, I only have S, which is like a 10 out of 10. A, B, and C. There's no D and there's no E because we're talking about the Beatles. And as always, this is just my opinion. You might have a different opinion, and it's okay. So as always, please remember to leave a comment below and like the video, and please make sure you are subscribed. All right, first up, like I said, it's kind of random, but let's go with Abbey Road. That is S tier for sure. The Beatles, A Hard Day's Night. I'm going to put that in A. All of the songs from, the A Hard Day's Night soundtrack are excellent. Side 2 is great too, but it's not S tier for me. Now, Yellow Submarine. I know Michael Nolan from The Bottom Line. He commented on the previous video that I posted, and he had Yellow Submarine in D, I believe. But I had Yellow Submarine in B because I love the 4 original songs. It's All Too Much, Only a Northern Song, All Together Now, and Hey Bulldog. And then, of course, Yellow Submarine and All You Need Is Love are great too. I'm not a big fan of side 2 with the orchestration by George Martin. I never really listened to it much. But side 1 is excellent. So I'm going to put it in B. Now, the Beatles 1. That's all of their hits, or most of their hits. But what kind of bugs me about it is Strawberry Fields Forever isn't included, but Penny Lane is. I know that Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane only got to number 2. It was a double A-side single in the UK. And Strawberry Fields Forever in the US only went to number 8, but Penny Lane went to number 1. So I guess that's why they've included it. But I still feel, I don't know. It just bugs me that Strawberry Fields Forever isn't on 1. But it's S tier. Now, the 3 anthology double CDs are all really good. I enjoy them all. Here's the first one. So the first one I'm going to put in A. I love all, I'm a big fan of the demos and the outtakes and everything. The live songs, I'm not as much of a fan of, all the screaming. It's kind of hard to hear the Beatles sometimes. But that was Beatlemania. But it's still A tier. And then the second one is probably my favorite. Right there. So I'll put it ahead of number 1, Anthology. And then the third one is my second favorite. I'll put that ahead of number 1. So they're all A tier for me. The Beatles, Let It Be. Now I'm just talking about the original. Um, the one disappointment, of course, with it is Don't Let Me Down should have been included. There's certainly enough room. Um, so I'm not going to put it in S tier. I'm going to put it in A, just before A Hard Day's Night. And then Let It Be Naked, right there. I enjoy listening to that, and what's great is Don't Let Me Down is included. The only downside, the only negative about it is I missed the dialogue from the original. Charles Haltree and the Deaf Aids. So I'm going to put it just before. I mean, they're both a great listen. But yeah, the original, I don't mind the original with the Phil Spector production. They're kind of even, to be honest. The Beatles live at Shea Stadium, and this is the updated version with more songs. It was for the soundtrack to 8 Days a Week. And when I saw the movie at the theater, they showed the whole Shea Stadium performance, and that was really cool to see. I wish, it's too bad it can't be on, Blu-ray. Maybe someday. So I'll put that. I'm going to put it in B, but at the start of B. The Beatles Christmas album. Now, the one I have is on CD. It's a bootleg. And it's a fun listen. It's the Beatles with their crazy humor. I'm going to put it in B. Yeah, like I said, I love It's All Too Much and Only a Northern Song so much more than the Beatles Christmas album. So put it there. Actually, I'm going to put Yellow Submarine ahead of Shea Stadium. The Beatles Revolver is S tier. I'm going to put it yeah, I'll leave it there. The Beatles Love. When I first bought the CD years ago, I enjoyed it, but then I kind of didn't listen to it for a few years, and then a couple of years ago, I listened to it again, and it's like, you know what? This is actually very interesting, and I like it. So I'm going to I'll put it in B, just before Yellow Submarine. It's a fun listen, maybe once a year I'll listen to it. The Beatles, Rubber Soul. Now I'm just going by the UK version. And the UK version has, a couple of weaker songs like What Goes On. And so I'm going to put it in A. But at the front of A. And the way I kind of rank them is which album would I listen to first? Rubber Soul or A Hard Day's Night? It would be Rubber Soul. Now, if it was the American version of Rubber Soul, it would be S tier. But like I said, I'm not including it. The two BBC double CDs. they're not my favorites. I rarely listen to them. I'm going to put them in C. I like the second edition more than the first one. So in C. The Beatles, past masters. It's all of their singles and B-sides. I think it is excellent. I'm going to put it... See, this is where it gets difficult. Got to put it ahead of Revolver because Hey Jude, Revolution, just so many songs. I'm going to put it ahead of one. There we go. I did that just so people can complain. The Beatles' Please Please Me is a great debut. I'm going to put it, it's not S tier though, but it's in A. I'll put it just ahead of Let It Be. The Beatles, with the Beatles. I'm going to put it in B, at the start of B. Once again, you know, they're still doing their cover versions, and between Please Please Me and With the Beatles, I love Please Please Me much more. The Beatles Help, the UK version, that's also A. It's got a couple of, you know, it's got Act Naturally, which is good. I enjoy it. And You Like Me Too Much is kind of one of George Harrison's weaker songs. But other than that, it's superb. I'm going to put it just before Rubber Soul. The Beatles, For Sale. Probably my least played studio album after Yellow Submarine. I'm going to put it... Actually, yeah, between these two, I don't play these two that often, but I think between With the Beatles and Beatles for Sale, I would want to listen to Beatles for Sale first. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, that is S tier. Ahead of Revolver for me. Right there. The Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour. Of course, it was the US version with, you know, it was a full album, and now it is recognized as an official Beatles album. In the UK, it was just an EP, but it's S tier. Right there. All right. The Beatles' Red Album, the remix from 2023. You know, it's not perfect. Not every remix is a winner, but overall, the remixes are excellent. It's S tier for me. Just before it's got so many songs on it. It's got to be at least there. And then the Blue Album. I know some people aren't big fans of the remix of I Am the Walrus, but it's a different remix. Like, it's a remix, so it's different, and it doesn't really bother me. So I'm putting it ahead of the Red Album. What's left? It's the Beatles' White Album. And as I said in the video I shot yesterday, I always, you know, for my number one favorite Beatles album, well, even Sgt. Pepper sometimes, but it's usually between Abbey Road and the White Album. But I'm going to go with S tier for the White Album and ahead of Abbey Road because it's just more Beatles. It's a double album. And I even love Revolution 9 and Wild Honey Pie and, some of the songs some Beatles fans aren't big fans of. And so this might even be a little different than the video from yesterday, but it's just the way it is. Uh, yeah, I'm happy with that overall. I would love your thoughts in the comments section below. And what would be your very favorite Beatles album out of all of these? Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.